Hare Krishna. I hope you can see me and hear me. Now I'm managing on myself this broadcast, so I'm new to this and I hope it works. So let me know if it works or if it doesn't work, anyone who is watching. This is a fourth broadcast of Gita coaching, about Gita coaching, and we have been speaking, we had the introduction to Gita coaching, we were speaking about the 10 qualities of a Gita coach or a life coach, and also we spoke about goal setting last time and about goals. And now today we will be speaking about the relationship between the coach and the coachee, or between a coach and, we can say, devotee that is taking assistance from a coach. Can anyone tell me whether you can see this? Because I'm not sure, I'm not able to type for some reason. It doesn't work. Let me try. Oh, thank you very much, Madhukanta Prabhu. Thank you. Now I know that I'm online because I wasn't 100% sure. So today we are speaking about relationship between a coach and the coachee. So this relationship is actually a relationship of service. Especially when we coach devotees, we take it as a service and as a, I would say, as an honor and pleasure to assist devotees in that way. So as we spoke before about the qualities of a coach, that he is interested in another devotee. So it's basically a very intimate relationship. It's a relationship where we listen confidentially to another devotee. We are asking questions, we are showing interest, genuine interest. We are asking questions which help another devotee to open up more and to speak more about his life, about his goals and dreams, also about his challenges, and then we listen. It's actually a great honor to stand or sit in front of another devotee and listen about his realizations. And I have been sometimes struggling to listen because I like to talk, I like to preach, I like to teach, and coaching is completely different service where you listen and you discover actually the greatness of another devotee or another soul who is trying to surrender to Krishna. This is really interesting and exciting. Devotees are very special people. And Bhagavad Gita says in 229 that soul is amazing. So I have been using for my coaching for some time this slogan, every soul is amazing. And we can with great confidence we can say that every devotee is amazing. People who approach Krishna are not ordinary people. So therefore we try to be interested in seeing how you have come to Krishna consciousness, how do you see, how do you understand the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And everyone is different, everyone has a special story to tell. So we have been self-centered for many lifetimes, but now we want to focus on serving Krishna's devotees because this will please him very much. Today one devotee approached me. He's regularly coming to the morning program, Srila Prabhupada's disciple here in Alachua, and he was saying how serving Krishna's devotees is a very precious service and very dear to Krishna. And Krishna says, then my devotee is not one who says that he is my devotee, but one who is a devotee of my devotees. So this is a very specific service, and anyone can learn these skills. And one thing that needs to happen. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. There is more devotees confirming that they can see. So, and here, one thing that needs to happen in this conversation, basically coaching is a conversation dedicated to your success, to your goals, to overcoming your challenges. So one thing that needs to happen is that a coach, spiritual coach, has to create this safe environment where a devotee can speak openly without being afraid that this will be broadcasted on the internet or published anywhere, on the bulletin board or in newsletters. But this is a safe environment where you can speak about confidential things openly and freely, and you know that in front of you is someone who is interested in your welfare, or who has your interest in heart. Now, it takes time, maybe 1-2 sessions, so that devotee becomes convinced that this devotee wants to help me succeed. So you can't legislate trust, and some people can match, some people cannot match. So therefore there is a trial session or a taster session where a devotee can become convinced. Now somebody is asking me a question. Bhaktin Carol, is there a financial cost for coaching? I don't charge for coaching, but some people or some devotees might charge. It depends. Now, devotees or coaches who charge, they say that people value more coaching when they pay for it. But I personally don't charge, and I encounter devotees who say that financial commitment is actually an obstacle because they are not able to pay. So I don't charge, but if anyone wants to give a donation, that's okay. So when you are entering the coaching relationship, then this first is this safety environment of safety, and also then this facilitates mutual understanding. So we heard about rapport. Rapport is actually ability to have a good flow of meaning between two people, a good mutual understanding. And we can say in the coaching context where these communications between each other are actually very successful. There is a flow, they understand each other. I say what I mean what I say, I'm honest with you, and I expect that you are honest with me, because this openness will help to actually solve your problems and achieve your goals. Otherwise, if we are hiding things from each other, then it will be difficult, and this assistance will not be as effective. It will not be as effective. Yeah. So rapport means that there is mutual understanding and there is trust there. Now, when one thing that you are allowed to do, sometimes you can stop or interrupt the conversation in a very respectful way, in a very sensitive and careful way. Why? Because sometimes we are just going in circles and we are not getting anywhere in this conversation. Somebody is repeating, or a devotee is repeating the same thing again and again, or just blaming others, accusing others, not taking full responsibility, complaining, whining. So in these situations, you are allowed as a coach to say, look, how this will help you and how this will help our coaching process. And then if devotee is serious, then usually they actually become aware that there is some kind of a stuck situation where you are not moving forward, you're not actually working constructively and progressively on your goals. So excuse me. So you can interrupt, but with great respect, and because you are there to serve another devotee. You are not there to control them, you are not there to preach to them, you are not there to tell them what to do, but you are trying to facilitate this process, and you act sometimes as a mirror, as a sounding board. So therefore listening is very important in this relationship. 75% minimum you should listen to another devotee. This is not a lecture. Coaching is not a lecture. Sometimes devotees ask me to coach them, meaning teach me something. Well, this also can be coaching, but this is more like training, teaching somebody to do something. Coaching is more drawing forth something that comes from you. Teaching, training, putting in something. So it's a different kind of service. So listening very attentively, also being perceptive, seeing the body language, seeing how a devotee reacts. So these things come when you are interested in another person. If you are not interested, then you can have skills, but it will not work. You will not actually catch the main points or the main body language signs, and you will not be able to provide very nice service. So presence is there. When you are present for someone. So therefore, coach is present there for you. He is interested in you. He's not trying to impress you by being interesting, but he's trying to be interested in you. So then, you are basically in the center of that whole conversation. Your life, your goals, your challenges are the topic of these conversations. So this is this kind of service. And the attitude of the coach is like when you have someone who believes in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Now for a spiritual coach, it's not so difficult to believe in you, because devotees know that we are Sat Chitananda, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. So every soul has an amazing potential, and we can see devotees in terms of their potential, not in terms of their present behavior or performance. This is very important. Positive perception of every soul, every devotee, especially devotees. Like when a child tries to walk, mother never thinks, oh, my child is, falling down, doesn't walk properly, he will never walk. She knows he has a potential to walk. It's just a question of time, practice, and some age has to be developed. The child has to grow, and then he is going to walk. So similarly, you believe that every devotee can be very Krishna conscious. Every devotee can actually be fixed in devotional service, focused on Krishna, be very successful, and you come across like that. And then I have seen when you believe in someone, it actually helps them believe in themselves, believe in Krishna more, and it helps them in their devotional service. And they also, sometimes we have this negative internal dialogue. So if nobody tells us anything positive about ourselves, our lives, or even Krishna, then we forget about it and we become so negative. So coaching someone who helps you think and speak very positively, and have hope, have a lot of hope that it is possible to advance, it is possible to achieve something in this lifetime. So it is a very, very, very pleasurable service. And when you see that another devotee is growing, he's getting hope. Imagine from hopelessness to great enthusiasm. Sometimes devotees go from complete hopelessness to new vision, new hope, new ideas, new projects, new drive to do something for the mission, to do something wonderful with their lives. Because every devotee is wonderful. Every devotee has some talent, some potential. So somebody has to tell them, look, you think you are bad, and you think this is humility when you are speaking bad about yourself, and when you are being so-called humble, not doing anything, not taking responsibility, sitting in the background and lamenting about their life. This is not humility. Humility is to fight for our spiritual advancement and to fight in the preaching mission. So everyone has potential to do something. And then we discover talents, strengths, abilities, skills that you already have. And if you want to develop something, then we also can look how to learn things, because we can learn almost anything that we need for devotional service. So learning is a great part of coaching, because we learn. I learn so much from the devotees I coach. I coached over 300 devotees, mainly in ISKCON, and I learned so much from them, from their challenges, from their successes, from their thinking, how they perceive things, how they understand our philosophy. So we learn. And they also learn from themselves, and they learn from their experience, and sometimes also they learn something from me. But I avoid to teach in a coaching session, because it's a different kind of service. It's not consulting, it's not counseling or giving advice. It's a different kind of service. So that relationship can become very dynamic and very friendly, but not over familiar. So we avoid to have, or we are friendly, but also we have some healthy distance, and we don't want to get emotionally involved. Although devotees are very wonderful people, and it's easy to be very attracted to devotees and to be so impressed that you become attached to them. so sometimes devotees say, well, this is not such a big problem if you become attached to devotees. But some kind of a healthy, distance is okay, and you can become attached emotionally to your family members or to your close friends. But your service to devotees is to help them succeed in various areas that they want to achieve success in. One thing that also can help you is to understand that some people are mainly visual. They say, I see what you mean. Then some people are more verbal. I hear what you say. Some people are more kinesthetic. I got a handle on it, or this really touched me. They're more into a tactile sense and the touch. So if they're predominantly in one of these categories, then you can actually use this to help them. Like if you are helping them to create a vision for their life, you can ask them to draw something instead of writing. Those who are more verbal, they want to have a personal mission statement, for example, or they want to have a song, or they want to have bullet points, and in this way you can create tools that can help them succeed. Like a personal mission statement, it's not only for verbal people, but it's a very powerful personal tool. So I'm always looking from the professional literature, from the Vedic literature, how to find tools to help devotees succeed. And there is so many tools. We are using intelligence of people also outside, that they design something for their sense gratification, but it can be used in Krishna service. Like a car is designed for sense gratification, but devotees are using it for Krishna service, to go to the temple, to go on book distribution, to go to the shop to buy things for the deities, to go to a festival or Ratha Yatra, or to fly to India with an airplane or with a boat. So we can use all kinds of different things. And I have been trained by very creative preachers, so they would always, as Srila Prabhupada says, look for novel ways how to preach, how to give Krishna consciousness to others. Yesterday I spoke to senior devotee who is working on Krishna.com, and they are thinking about many innovative ways how to make Krishna consciousness available for people who don't know anything about it, or who got a book, or also for devotees, but in more effective ways. So it's very rewarding to think, how can I help this devotee succeed? This is very good for our purification, and also it's a double benefit, and it's also good for other devotees. Instead of thinking about the faults of somebody, we can think, how can I help this devotee succeed? And it's very nice. And then also people can feel when you think about their welfare. So you increase also the number of friends, or the friendly relationships. So So there is so many benefits from having this coaching approach, because coaching approach means, how can I help you succeed? To have better health, to have better sadhana, better chanting, especially chanting of japa, to have better relationships with devotees, with your parents, with your authorities, even with your Guru Maharaj, to have to find a service that really excites you, that you want to become expert in, and you can dedicate your life. If you have financial problems, we can look into it, how to save more money. I tell devotees, always spend less than you earn. Always spend less than you earn. And they laugh because they know that there is a tendency to spend more than you earn. More than you earn. But if you always spend less than you earn, you will never be in anxiety. And so there is other areas also that people want to maybe do some other things, but these are like basic areas, very basic, very fundamental areas that we have in our lives, and we want devotees to improve in these areas. They want to improve. We are helping them. So coaching is a conversation, it's a communication, two-way communication, and it requires honesty. The coach is honest. So for example, if I feel that you are hiding something, or that you are not admitting something, or that you have a way of thinking that obstructs you, I will tell you with respect, but I will tell you. And then also, if you tell me about your life, then you should be open as much as you want, but basically the more the devotee is open, the easier it is to design success and the plan, action plan that will help you succeed. For example, if you are not open about certain obstacles, then we will not be able to overcome them together, or you will not be able to overcome them with my assistance, because I simply don't know, we don't address it, and we don't work on it. So you don't have to address everything right away, but over time we should look into things that are obstacles and then try to see how to overcome them with Krishna's help, the help of other devotees, or whoever is willing to help us succeed. And also in this relationship, when you experience coaching, one good thing happens. This happened to me. I experienced coaching, and then I started to have a desire to coach people. Then I started coaching devotees, and I started to like it. And so you can also maybe develop some taste and then start assisting others. It's very simple. For example, you can start with asking questions, becoming interested in others, listening, and also asking good questions. Practice asking questions. If you ask devotees, what is your dream? Almost everyone likes to hear this question. Some will say, oh, I don't know. Why do you ask me this? It's such a hard question. But most of them, they will say, oh, that's a nice question. I never thought about this. So, do you dare to dream about what would be your ideal life? How would you like to serve Krishna? How would you like to please Krishna? How would you like to be engaged in the mission of Krishna consciousness? How would you like to please the deities? So people sometimes they don't have time to think about or to dream about ideal situation. They get really entangled and bogged down into day-to-day problems or survival. But sometimes we need to take time to think, because all great things, they started in the mind. Ask any person who has achieved anything. It all started first in the mind. A vision, thinking about it, dreaming about it, writing about it, and then it starts to materialize gradually. Therefore, in goal setting, we were recommending, always write down your goals. And I will always tell you, if you come to coaching, and most of coaches will tell you the same thing, write it down. Why? Because then it becomes almost set in stone, printed, like imprinted in consciousness. If you write down, I chant 16 rounds every day first thing in the morning without interruption. So write it down a few times. You can also write it down in a form of prayer. My dear Lord, please help me chant my 16 rounds in one go every single day. And then see whether this will improve your chanting and your japa. And if you want more tools, we can provide more tools. Some devotees already ordered here a Japa Excellence tool where you can measure. You have 31 day or 30 days, it's for the month, and you can measure your japa. What you measure tends to improve. So, thinking, Srila Prabhupada says in one purport in the Bhagavad Gita, the mind should always be engaged in thinking of the welfare of others. So this is one of the fundamental principles of Gita coaching. That we try, the devotees who want to do spiritual coaching or Gita coaching, actually they try to think of the welfare of others as much as possible. And this is pleasing to Krishna. This is what I believe, that is pleasing to Krishna. And devotees, they can feel if you are interested in their welfare. And sometimes you don't even ask, they just come. They say, can I speak to you? Well, why? Well, I don't know you. I heard you are doing this coaching and maybe you can coach me. Sometimes they just come jokingly. Or they come teasingly. But then it become an interesting conversation, or sometimes very fruitful, especially for them. So, when you develop some taste for coaching, being coached, and coaching others, then you can experience more that service. And coaching doesn't mean fixing you or fixing anyone. Devotees will sometimes come to me for a first session and they say, okay, Akrura, fix me. And I say, but coaching is not about fixing. Coaching is, we can look into some maybe difficulties, but it's also about positive achievement of goals and dreams, and about looking into your strengths, what's wonderful in you. One coach said that they asked him, so how would you compare a coach? What metaphor would describe a coach? And she was thinking, she said, oh, nobody asked me this question in my whole career as a coach. I have to think about it. Give me a few minutes. So she was thinking, and she said, Pyramid Explorer. Oh, Pyramid Explorer. Why? What does that mean? She said, you know what? It's because coach is always looking for a hidden treasure in you. What is this that is the best thing in you? The other day I had a Facebook chat with a devotee and I said, what is the best thing you can do to your loved ones, to people you love? And then the devotee was thinking and said, then gave me a few things there. So we are looking what is the best in people, because they have already so many good things in there. So we have a very positive perception of people and of devotees. Although we are conditioned souls, we are in the material world, and this Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. Kalir dosha, nidarajan, hyasti eko mahadguna, kirtana deva Krishna sya mukta sangha param rajet. But there is one good quality, that simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you can actually attain liberation. The problem becomes an opportunity. We will speak about this when we speak about skills in one of the next sessions. So this relationship is very, very exciting. And imagine if you have a relationship with 100 or 200 devotees, and most of them are ongoing, then there is no way you will be bored in spiritual life. There is no way you will not please Krishna. There is no way you will not be satisfied. And there is no way you will not give a contribution to this movement. And Prabhupada also stressed many times, he showed by his example how we have to take care of devotees. So this attitude of trying to nurture devotees, nurture another soul, in a very respectful way, not in a patronizing, condescending, controlling way, but very friendly and very respectful way, this attitude is very, very healthy for ourselves and very, very pleasing to others. So we recommend that everybody learns these skills and everybody tries to develop such relationships. And what I recommend for devotees, like spiritual friendship, should be, sometimes it can be spontaneous, but actually I recommend structured association. Sometimes they say it's called intentional relationships. So there is a conscious effort or conscious intent that let's associate in a structured way, so that this association brings both of us closer to Krishna. So I will give you one simple tool for peer coaching or mutual coaching of equals. If you don't have a coach, your friend can be your coach in a very, very simple way. But then you have to be serious when you associate as coaches. You can joke or do, like have some entertainment when you are in a relaxed mood or relaxed situation. But when you are working on your spiritual progress and discussing seriously about life challenges and life successes, then we recommend some structure. So I call it daily questions or weekly questions. Now very few people have time to meet daily and have such a deep conversation, and sometimes maybe it's too hard for them to do that. But weekly questions, I have set of questions. Let's say I have set of 10 questions. I give them to you and you ask me my own questions. Why would you do that? Because these questions actually they cover the most important areas of my life, and I want you to ask me these questions. So you ask me these questions and ask me some sub-questions. You don't ask me these questions mechanically. You ask me these questions with great interest, with your involvement. You will ask me sub-questions and we will have a very deep discussion. If you ask me about my chanting, if you ask me about my giving, for example, it's important for me to give throughout the day, to give support, to give encouragement, to give some gift to somebody if I can, to give inspirational quotes, to give inspirational audios or pictures, whatever I can. This is important to me. So therefore one of my questions would be, what did you give today? Or what have you given today? Or how was your rounds today? Very important. Did I chant attentive rounds? Did I chant them in one go? So did I read in the scriptures? This is also very important. Did I take care of my health? Did I take care of the people I have to take care of? Devotees or family members? So these, you can create questions that cover important areas of your life, and then you can have 1 hour, half an hour for one devotee, half an hour for another devotee, and you can have an amazing association, and then it can help you so much to make progress in spiritual life. And it's a very simple thing. So this is a very simple way to coach. So there is many ways and many more things that we can do to help each other succeed. We wanted to do a seminar helping each other succeed. So we were speaking about different attitudes that we can have and different ways. I was proposing in this community an idea that imagine if we would have people whom we call community helpers. So that this is a person who is ready to help anyone, anytime, in anything. So how do you do that? Well, maybe I'm not an expert in all areas. For example, I don't know how to fix your car, but you can call me and tell me that you have a problem, and just by speaking about your problem, it's already at least somewhat easier, the whole thing. It's easier on your mind. And then, I don't know how to repair a car, but I know this good mechanic, I know this cheap mechanic, and then I can give you a phone number, or I can try to make a phone call. So you know that I will do my best to help you in any way I can. So if you have more people in a community like this, then what do you have? You have an amazing culture of mutual support and care. So as one Swami, ISKCON Swami said, that we want to create communities of care. And coaching skills is actually meant to help develop communities of care through helping individual devotees succeed. Now, all these skills that I'm teaching, you can also apply to groups. And we can also listen to groups and ask groups questions and help groups turn problems into opportunities and develop these attitudes that will help them succeed as a group. So with some little modification, this also can be applied to groups and to larger groups also. So these are very, very universal principles and skills. So now sometimes in this relationship there is another aspect. Very large aspect of a relationship between a coach and the coachee is support, encouragement, positive reinforcement, great desire, and empathy and sympathy, great desire to help another devotee succeed, friendliness, well intentions. But there is another aspect, and it is called challenge. Sometimes challenging people is as good as support, and sometimes even better, and sometimes even more required. Sometimes when people are stronger, when they are ready for a next step, ready to stretch, then the best service you can provide for them is to challenge them and to raise the bar, as a coach would do for a high jump sportsman. So of course you decide how much you want to raise the bar, but the coach is there to tell you that there is an option of raising a bar. You have a choice to do more, to do better, to achieve more, to surrender more, to advance more, to become more humble, to go either higher or lower, whatever you want. So there is always a choice, and you are not limited to what you think at the moment. You're not limited. Srila Prabhupada said everything is possible by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So there is no limits to how much we can achieve. So therefore, the principle of helping people stretch and helping people help themselves is very, very important in helping each other succeed, and also in coaching. There is a story of a boy who was watching the caterpillar in a cocoon trying to get out, and basically trying to develop some wings and to fly. So the boy became so-called compassionate, and then he couldn't watch this struggle there, and he opened the cocoon to free this creature who was struggling. But by the nature's law, by this struggle, actually this creature would develop enough muscles, and there would be enough certain chemicals there that the caterpillar would become a butterfly and could fly. But the boy, through his so-called compassion, he has actually stopped this natural process, and he has done an unfavor to that creature. So this creature couldn't fly for life. This creature couldn't fly for life. Undeveloped muscles. So we have to think how we are helping people. You can fall into a trap of being a savior. Sometimes we need to be saviors when there is a life threat or when somebody is really, really disturbed, and provide a lot of solace and shelter. But basically, better help is to help people become strong. At least this is my understanding and how I have been working with the devotees I coach and assist and serve. So to illustrate this point, I would like to tell you a very old story which I heard from Sachinandan Swami when he was having a program on a Croat TV with one very famous and provocative journalist. And Maharaj was, he actually confused so much and stunned and surprised this very witty, very smart guy who thought he is going to, put the Swami on the stop, but Maharaj put him on the stop. It was a wonderful show. Someone has sent me, Madhukanta Prabhu has sent me a nice quote, and I think it's from the letter to Karandara in 1972, very famous letter. It's a wonderful, wonderful letter full of wonderful instructions, and I'm going to get back to it when I finish my story. It speaks about the art of management. So, once there was a man in India who liked to eat mangoes. And one day he decided, I'm going to get the best mango possible. So the best mangoes, the sweetest mangoes, they actually grow the closest to the sun. So he decided to climb very high on a tree. So he climbed high, but the higher you go, the branches, they become thinner. So he got few mangoes, put them in his pocket, but then he slipped and started falling. And as he was falling, he caught one branch, fortunately, and remained hanging. But the position of this branch was such that he couldn't actually come down. He had to remain hanging. So this tree where he was, mango tree, was actually not far away from the first, it was on the edge of the village. So from the first houses in the village, and some people called him screaming for help, heard him actually calling for help, and they came with ladders, they came with some sticks to try to help him, but nobody could help him. They just helplessly saw him hanging and asking for help. And one of them said, well, we know that near our village in a cottage there is one sage who usually help us solve problems. So let's see if he's there, and let's see if we can get some help from him. Sometimes he would help people in unusual ways, but it was almost always it would work. So they have a lot of trust in him and his judgment. So they invited the sage, and he was there, fortunately, in his cottage, meditating. And he came, and he looked at the man and took a stone from the ground and threw it at the man. Now everybody was shocked. What kind of help is this? What kind of solution is this? So the man, of course, he became disturbed. This man, he said, what are you doing? Why are you throwing stones at me? And people were confused. They weren't sure what he's doing. What the sage will do next? He took another stone, threw it again. So the man is becoming more and more angry, and he started even threatening. He said, I'm going to come down. Of course, we want you to come down. This is what we want, but you can't do it. That's the whole problem. But he felt, I want to revenge, I really want to come down. His desire to come down increased. Everybody was watching. Now some people start having doubts. They were thinking, maybe we should stop the sage, because he's not reasonable anymore. He's throwing the stone, at the man who is in such a troublesome situation. And everybody was watching for a few seconds. And the sage, he took another stone and threw it again. So this man became so angry that he used all of his physical power, his intelligence, he was thinking, he did anything he can to come down, and he was able to come down somehow. He found some branches, he was waving a little bit, he did something, and he was down. When he came down, he said, "Where is the sage? I'm going to teach him a lesson." And people said, "Well, he wouldn't be a sage if he would wait for you." Because he actually saw that you are very angry and that you are really upset with him. So he left. And he was still trying to calm down, and he was objecting and cursing and saying so many things. And people said, "But you know what? All of our goodwill and our letters and everything wasn't able to help you. None of us was able to help you with all our prayers and good wishes. And he was able to help you help yourself. He actually provoked you to help yourself." And he said, "You are right." That's true. He was the only one who helped me calm down. I would still be hanging if it were not for him, if he wouldn't push me over my limits. So this story illustrates very nicely how sometimes we need that push, but it's for our own good. It's not that somebody is on an ego trip. You understand? It's for our own good that somebody pushes us over our limits. And in a coaching situation, you first agree to this. Nobody imposes on you this. But that you know that this is for me. So this is one aspect of that relationship. Challenge. So what are you going to do next? People come and say, "I have this problem, I have this problem, I have that problem, this person is like this and like this." And then I just listen and say, "So what are you going to do about it?" They say, "Well, I don't know, this is why I came to you." And I say, "Are you intelligent?" And then if they're honest, they say, "Well, I think I'm intelligent." So if you think you're intelligent, so is this the best solution that you have, to come to me and whine and complain? Is that the best? Well, no, there must be something else. Okay, so think. You now think and find. I want to see 10 solutions on paper. And then they start thinking, and they're so happy. They say, "My God, it's amazing. When I think, everything changes. When I think positively, creatively, when I don't think problem, but I think solution, everything is different." And I said, "That's it, exactly." So what are you going to do about it? How are you going to stretch? How are you going to use your skills? What is your knowledge? You are reading scriptures for so many years. When are you going to become a saintly person? "Oh, that's not for me, I'm humble." Well, if you were humble, you would be a saintly person now. But you're not humble. You're just taking this as an excuse. So they say, "Okay, let me try." And then whoever tries, they see that in most cases it works. When you try something, try to apply certain higher principles. So taking responsibility like this. So in this relationship, you will always be made aware of two things. Responsibility is yours, and choice. You always have a choice. There is always more choices than you see. There is always more opportunities than you see at any particular moment. So coach helps you in this relationship think outside the box, and this is for your own good, because we limit ourselves with our thinking. So these are some of the aspects of this very exciting relationship between someone who wants to help you succeed and yourself, the person who wants to succeed. And you can also become such a person. You can help others succeed in turn, and in this way you can achieve success in this lifetime. So I want to end here. Thank you very much for listening, and I want to thank Madhukanta Prabhu for sending this quote. It's quite long quote. I won't read the whole quote, but I will read parts of it. Srila Prabhupada speaks about leadership, and I think this is also one of the principles of coaching that I use. It's called fresh challenge. So in a coaching situation, in a coaching relationship, we try to create fresh challenge for you, and it goes along with a stretching or challenging principle. So to create fresh challenge for the devotees so that they will agree enthusiastically to rise and meet it. The art of management is to draw out spontaneous loving spirit of sacrificing some energy for Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says that service is individual and spontaneous and voluntary. So that voluntary spirit has to be awakened. So in the coaching situation, the same things happen, exactly what is described here. That you, out of your own accord, you actually choose to move forward, to grow, to achieve, to be creative, to express yourself, to be alive person. So thank you so much for this quote, but because actually it supports the whole spirit of coaching, especially of spiritual coaching or Gita coaching. So I want to end here, and whoever is online, thank you so much if you have been listening and watching this. This will be available also on Wednesday as a recording for those who didn't have time to be with us tonight. And your friends, you can recommend, if you think this would be of use, recommend that they watch. There is 3 other videos there from our previous broadcasts, and there will be several more until the end of July. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them, and I will try to answer. And you can always email me, and as I always do, I will give you my email here, akrura@pamho.net. Now I will also give you my Facebook. I also put a lot of resources there. I'm also on Skype as Akrura D, and I also have a website. It's on another website called vedicilluminations.com/Gita coaching. And when you go to that website, on the left hand side there is a link to the blog, and there is different other links, newsletter, articles. There is also some music there that I made. You can also listen to that, both modern and traditional. And also I have a forum on Krishna.com called Helping Devotees Succeed. So if you're on Krishna.com, you can also join that forum if you like. At the moment it's not super active, but we have some things going on there. And I'm more active on Facebook. It's Akrura Dasa on Facebook, and I post daily different quotes, videos, audios, I also post links to these broadcasts there. So if you have friends and people who are interested, they can send a friend request and I will accept them as friends, and then they can use these resources. Also I write articles there and daily quotes, and my friends also comment, so hopefully this will be a useful resource for you. So we have 5 more minutes for this broadcast, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask about coaching, about the relationship, about previous broadcasts, goal setting, introduction to coaching we had, and qualities of a coach. So yeah, if you have any questions, I will try to answer. Thank you again for listening. It's very exciting. Last time I got several emails from those who were listening the broadcast and watching, and devotees are interested in personal improvement and spiritual advancement. So this service is meant to help you succeed, and also help you help others succeed. It's a chain. Bhaktin Carol says, I feel very uncomfortable helping someone else when it means choosing for them. Well, I don't think you should ever choose for anyone else. They have to learn to choose. Thank you, Bhakta Greg, for your comment. There is one positive comment about Bhakta Greg. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. So we should help other people choose, but you shouldn't choose for them. This is their responsibility. Okay? If that makes sense. I also feel very uncomfortable choosing for others, definitely. I would not choose for others. When one also needs to protect themselves, yeah, we can tell them you need to protect yourself, you're harming yourself, or you're allowing others to harm you. Yeah, we should try to interfere, but ultimately they have to choose to protect themselves. They have to choose to do good, something good for themselves. You can't force them. You can't do it for themselves. So they have to learn how to help themselves. Of course, we are concerned. We interfere in everyone's lives, but we also respect their free will, and we also understand that they are responsible for their lives. We are responsible for our lives. So if we help them take more responsibility, this would be a great help. Yeah, excellent question. Okay, we have 2 more minutes. When I'm trying to protect myself from their choices, yes, you should protect yourself, and other people's choices should not harm your life. We will have to finish soon, but Bhaktin Carol, you can also write me. You have all my details here, and you can also write me on email if you like, or contact me on the Skype chat or Facebook chat. So then we can give it more time if you have more questions or you want more detailed answers. But now I have 1 more minute, and this is not enough time to discuss more thoroughly your questions or anyone's questions. I can give yes, you're welcome. Thank you. I can give very quick brief answers, but then if we want to discuss more, we can discuss it in other ways. Okay, so we had several devotees that at least I have seen here on the chat, and thank you all very much once again for listening and watching this. I hope this was of use to you, and please feel free to contact me on these email addresses and other ways. And I wish you great success in your service and attempts to spiritual advance. And Hare Krishna. Jai. Thank you, Bhakta Patrick.